giving a voice to Alabama outdoorsmen. This is Listen to the Eagle, the radio home for Alabama's hunters and fishermen. To be a part of the show, call toll-free at 844-EAGLE-99. That's 844-324-5399. And now, giving a voice to Alabama outdoorsman, Bert Carruth.
Welcome in to Listen to the Eagle. Bert Carruth coming to you from the Reeves Metal Studios right here in Trussville, Alabama. Thank you for making us a part of your day. We are the home of Alabama's hunters and fishermen. Alabama's hunters and fishermen finally have a voice statewide across this great state of Alabama. If you're proud of things going on in the great outdoors here in Alabama, call us. You have a voice statewide. If you're a little frustrated about maybe some things going across the state in the great outdoors, call us. The platform is set for you, Alabama's hunters and fishermen. To be a part of the show, though, you've got to call. And that's 1-844-EAGLE-99. That's 1-844-324-5399. Write that number down with a Sharpie and put it on your with a sticky pad and put it where on the back of your phone, so you can always have a voice right here on Listen to the Eagle. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Eagle Alabama. That's at Eagle Alabama. You can always go to listentotheeagle.com. That's what I invite you to do. Go to listentotheeagle.com. Click on the state of Alabama. There's two choices there. You've got Mississippi or Alabama. Click on Alabama. You can always go to the archive. Check out any show that you may have missed, or maybe if you miss a segment tonight and you want to go back and re-listen to make sure you heard what you heard, you can always go. listentotheeagle.com. Again, your host, and let's go straight to the phone lines because we've got the man. We've got what better known as Listen to the Eagle's professional hunter and fisherman, big bad, legendary Ron Jones. What's up, Big Ron?
Nothing but the rent, Bert Lane.
I hear you. Ron. Listen here, baby. Hey, I know you've already been on from time to time. We've talked hunting. We've talked turkey hunting. We talked about the big event that you and old Sam from Hunting is Good and Red Akins put on down in Dothan, which I think that's awesome that y'all do that. But, Ron, as we told you on our last conversation, over the next couple of months, it's fishing. I already know you've already been in the big pond, that salty pond. I've seen pictures, and I know you've already been right up the road at Logan Martin. So just kind of share with us what's going on out there, not only in your personal world of fishing, but what are you hearing? What's going on across the state?
Well, for the most part, we've been doing pretty well. You know, snapper season had come in, and on the days that we're able to fish and have gone, and my buddies, they're plentiful out there.
Hey, Ron, talk about that just a little bit, and correct me where I'm wrong. I know there was a limited number of days. Was it like an 8-day window of the snapper season?
Yeah, I don't exactly know. I think it's a 9-day window, 9 or 12 day.
Yeah.
I just know the opening of June. You know, the first few weeks of, the first week of June has been opening, and we've been one time, and my friend that we've been with, he's gone several times, and limited out every time, and able to get some, kind of pick and choose the what size you want, So,
sure. Well, that's awesome.
It being two snapper apiece, it doesn't take long to get your limit, and then you come on in. So that's been real, snapper's real good, which, putting the limit on them has helped. But on the flip side of that, you could look at it, in the past when it was open longer, me being a hunter and fisherman,
yeah,
I've always had the attitude of, when I needed some meat or needed fish, go when I need it, and get it when I need it, and not have to stop it up in the freezer. But now it could have a reverse effect, because now everybody's trying to utilize every single day,
Yeah.
and try to limit out every day in that window. That's the only thing I could say that could be a negative effect on it.
Well,
But
let me ask you a couple of questions on that topic. I know we can reach out to our friends at the department and maybe get the correct answer, but just in your opinion, why did it change, Ron? Were we seeing the snapper scare us? Or?
I don't know. I think what happened is I think some of the nothing against our great people and biologists that protect the fish and game.
Sure.
But I think what happened is some people went out at the end of the season after a whole entire season had been fished.
Yeah.
And I think they went out to some public reefs and spots and went out there and didn't catch any fish, which those are the first places that get fished.
Yep.
And get fished out. And then they just this is just what I'm speculating happened, that they went out there and couldn't catch any fish, and they go, oh my goodness, it's a shortage of snapper.
Yeah.
And which they don't know, which they do know, but many people have their private spots, and there's plenty on that, if not everybody in the world is fishing them. But what's happening is your commercial guys and your recreational guys, they all put out some private spots, but when the season comes open, they run out to all the public spots and fish those first,
right,
and then save the others, for themselves once those are fished out. So I think what happened, a few years back when they I think were overreacted on the snapper deal, I think they went out and couldn't catch any decent snapper or any, and they just concluded there was a shortage of snapper. But I can assure you, there's more out there right now than there's ever been.
Well, when you say out there, for the listener out there, myself that's not an avid snapper fisherman or deep sea fisherman, how far out are we talking about? What is this, a 30-mile, 60-mile, 100-mile deal?
Oh, I mean, you can go as far as you want to. I mean, you go out to the Alabama apps. I mean, you can. I mean, of course, the further you go out, the bigger the snapper are, because they have less pressure. But I mean, you can keep them. I mean, we've got spots within a mile. Now with the state water deal, we got spots that are within sight of the beach. Some 2.5 miles. And
okay, well, let me ask you this: you go out, and I don't know where the mark is, whether it's 60 miles or 100 miles, and you get outside of so-called Alabama waters, and you catch the fish, but you bring them back to your Alabama Orange Beach Gulf Shores area. Are those considered under the Alabama regulations?
Yeah, as I know the regulations are, and I'm no expert on the regulations, but whatever port you put in, and wherever you're coming out, taking your boat out of,
yeah,
that's where you normally get checked, and that's where they look at the limits, and then they also monitor the seasons, because I think I hadn't fished in Florida yet this year, but I think the governor of Florida, he disregarded the federal regs, and he's letting snapper season be, I think, June until August in state waters.
Yeah.
And so so he sees how beneficial it is to tourism, and because a lot of people, without going down there and have an opportunity to go fishing, they wouldn't even go to the beach. And, I hate to say it, I'm kind of one of them. If it wasn't for the fishing, I really could care less. I would go with my family and so forth, but if it wasn't for the fishing, I would go down a lot less than I do.
No, it's a big tourist draw. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I can tell you this: I've been fishing 30-something years, and the snapper right now are thicker than I've ever seen them. I mean, if you wanted to, you could chum them up to the top with a chum bag. And this is what I like to do. I like to chum them up to the top, with a chum bag, and then use a light spinner, and then you just kind of drop it down in front of the one you want.
Yes, sir.
And then you got you a good fight,
Well, look, let's But before I let you go to the break, we're coming up on a break. We just put up on the TV the pictures of the young boys that y'all had the other night. Tell us about what's going on locally right here with your fishing in Logan Martin. I know it's
well, locally we've been catching a lot of spotted bass, and we've been doing a little grappling, what we call, kind of hillbilly hand fishing.
Yeah.
And real men do it at night, not during the day. So we Reynolds and J.C. Farmer, we went out the other night, got a few big ones out of some holes we had. Then we've been running some noodles, catching some big catfish, and then last night I had a treat. I had a friend of mine come up. He's got a bow fishing boat rig, and we went out, and you saw the pictures. Reynolds and his buddy Colin Herring, they first bow hunting trip, and they got them 5 big old carp and a big alligator gar. So they were pumped, and they're hooked, but they're a little sleepy right now. We stayed out a little too late. But thankfully they're not in school now.
Ron, look, Cade is in studio. My 12-year-old, he's been dying for me to take him bow fishing. I told him he had to prove that he could shoot a deer with a bow before I did that. But now that you're already doing this, I gotta, man, please call us next time you do that.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll try to line it up. He's a good athlete. I feel like we would practice a little bit off the dock before it got dark, and I think within 15, 20 minutes we could have him hitting a Coke bottle pretty easy, and if he can hit that, he could hit a fish, and it should be kind of target friendly. You shoot a lot, but after he gets the hang of it, he doesn't have to be able to kill a deer with a bow to shoot a fish. So
well, hey,
we'll get y'all to go next time.
He's listening. I'm sure he's smiling ear to ear now. He's gonna be wearing me out, tugging on me. Call Uncle Ron. Big Ron, as always, we appreciate you being a part of the show, baby. We look forward to next time.
All right, well, we'll call in and appreciate what you're doing for the sport.
Man, we love it. Take care. Thank you, Ron. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Listen to the Eagle.
Or Eagle 99. That's 844-324-5399. This is Listen to the Eagle.
Reed's Metals is the manufacturer for metal roofing, pole barns, pre-engineered steel buildings, and the new galvanized Econo buildings. See them all online at reedsmetals.com. Reed's Metals uses products welded by certified welders, customizing each building to meet your needs, delivering your project within 21 days of your order. They use truck-mounted lifts to unload the delivery off the truck, saving you time and money. Learn more about products and services online at reedsmetals.com.
Cracked brick, windows that stick, uneven floors and squeaky doors. The signs are there everywhere. Your home is crying out for repair. Call AFS and we'll be there. Waterproofing specialists too. Let AFS take care of you. AFS, we support everything you love.
Call AFS at 877-340-8479 or go to afsrepair.com.
Need an app or a new website? Cross Digital has you covered. Cross Digital is a full-service multimedia company focused on you. We build custom apps and websites designed to engage your customers. We also produce corporate videos such as live webinars, YouTube explainer videos, and podcasts in our state-of-the-art studio. When you need to stand out, Cross Digital makes it happen. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
Coming to Trustful in the fall of 2015, Sheepdog Firearms Indoor Training Facility, located 1 minute off of Interstate I-59 and Deerfoot Parkway. Sheepdog will feature 24 indoor firing lanes, a 4,000 square foot gun sale showroom manned by a friendly and courteous staff, and at Sheepdog Firearms you can keep your expanded brass. Like us on Facebook or visit our website at sheepdog-firearms.com. Come join the pack at Sheepdog Firearms Training Center, Trustful.
Hey, Alabama hunters, are you like me and find yourself wanting to do work around your camp, but you just don't know when, how, or where to rent the equipment to do it? I've got the answer for you. Rental Works. Rental Works has excavators, generators, concrete saws, loaders, dozers, and more. Maybe you need a specialty renter like a high-capacity forklift or even a dump truck. Rental Works has you covered. Call Rental Works today, 1-877-282-LIFT. That's 1-877-282-LIFT, Rental Works.
Need an app or a new website? Cross Digital has you covered. Cross Digital is a full-service multimedia company focused on you. We build custom apps and website design to engage your customers. We also produce corporate videos such as live webinars, YouTube explainer videos, and podcasts in our state-of-the-art studio. When you need to stand out, Cross Digital makes it happen. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
At Alabama Foundation Specialists, we know your home is your biggest investment, and it starts with a solid foundation. But sometimes change.
Welcome back in to Listen to the Eagle, Alabama's hunters and fishermen home. We are your home. For you to have a voice statewide, I'm Bert Carruth, coming to you from the Reed's Metal Studio right here in Trussville, Alabama. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Alabama's hunters and fishermen, you do have a voice, but to have that voice, you've got to call the show. 1-844-EAGLE-99. That's 1-844-324-5399. Write that number down with a Sharpie, baby. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at Eagle Alabama. That's at Eagle Alabama. And always go to listentotheeagle.com where you can find out where we've been, where we're going. You can check out our archive show. You can, if you ever missed a segment that you heard about and you want to see it, watch it on archives. It's sitting right there for you. All right, Bert Carruth, we love having guests, and now we've got one of our most famous guests. The man, the myth, the legend, the meteorologist, Dennis Washington.
What's
Dennis,
going on, Bert?
Man,
how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
Man, doing great.
You're not my guest co-host. You're my celebrity co-host, right?
I'm honored. It's always a pleasure to be behind the microphone again.
Well, you did the legendary shark fishing from a kayak segment.
That's probably what I get asked about more. It's not about sitting behind the microphone for you one night or even doing the weather. It's how crazy are you that I was sitting in church and the preacher the other day said,
"It's great."
So it was trying to make an illustration. It said, "Dennis, the guy that goes hunts for sharks out of kayaks."
That's great.
I'm like, yeah, well, I guess there could be worse things you could be thought of.
Well, look, okay, and we do need to update that and get with Brett and the guys.
We'll get with Brett
sometime.
And Brett and I are planning more trips to go. We've got a plan for that. Just don't have a date set yet.
Well, y'all stay tuned. We're going to update that.
We'll do that.
Here's what I want to do for our listeners, and you and I talked about this. You being a weatherman.
Yeah.
I'd like to frame this first little segment with you as kind of breaking down exactly what you do for those of us that get frustrated.
Yeah.
Where we get a weather report and we plan a big fishing day and it's totally upside down.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, why you get it right and we never give you the credit that's due. and then after we go to our hard break, I want to come back and then actually talk about how much the weather relates to hunting and fishing.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
So really for our listener out there and educate me, kind of share with us. I mean, what is it all machine oriented or what goes on in the weather and how do you get there?
It's become a lot of that. Everybody's walking around with one of these smartphones in their hand now, so you can download some free app or 99-cent app or whatever. Now all of a sudden you feel like you've got a meteorologist in the palm of your hand that's predicting the weather for you. You just put in your zip code and boom, I've got exactly what I need. Well, the problem is a lot of these apps, that's not a human that's predicting the weather. It's some computer. Well, what you put into the computer, you get out. And if you get junk in, you get junk back out. And that's really the problem with a lot of these apps. There's some usefulness to them, but when it comes to forecasting, the computers just aren't as good as the humans. That human intuition, that guy that's been living in that community for 30 years and knows what when A happens, it creates B. It always happens that way. The computer doesn't have enough history to know that yet. The computers are getting better, but they're not as good as many times your veteran forecasters as they sit and work in these communities.
So when you do come on, and you do one every day, every morning.
Yeah, I've got several radio stations across the state of Alabama that I do weather forecast every day. I also do weather forecast on Facebook for some. There's a community newspaper here in Trussville. The Trussville Tribune's one of those, as well as some others. So using some new media as well as your traditional media as well to deliver weather forecast.
So whether I'm the hunter or the fisherman or I'm the mom planning a birthday party, an outdoor birthday party, when you give that forecast, how much? I mean, where am I on? Man, I can count on Dennis 90%. I can count on him 85%.
I would love for you to say 100%, but I know I'm not human. I know I'm human. Right. I know I'm going to make a mistake every now and then. A lot of I forecast generally in the state of Alabama, which is where I've been born and raised. So a lot of this is things that I've experienced over the years.
So the region has something to do with your skill. I mean, you really need to know the area.
Oh, look, this really comes up a lot during the winter when we try to forecast snow down here in the South. Yeah. We don't have a lot of experience at it because it doesn't happen.
When all the grocery stores pay y'all to say snow's coming, because that's the rumor. Dennis is getting a kickback from every Winn-Dixie and Publix.
Right. No, it's
snow.
Yes, just say the 4-letter word and then it's an instant paycheck. Winter weather forecasts in the South are difficult because it doesn't happen that often. It's not just only difficult for us human weather forecasters, but also the computers. There's not a lot of data for the computers to use to reach back and say, okay, when A happens, it causes B with winter in the South, because it just doesn't happen that often. You go up to Michigan,
and it's common. So they get all the tools.
They are very comfortable with forecasting snow and get the forecast a lot more often up there than they do here down south.
Well, real quick, I know we're about to go to break, but frame real quick if you can, or we may need to come back to the next segment. Everybody's familiar with what happened about a year and a half ago with the big snow that came in and just totally shut our city down.
You had a situation where the winter weather just didn't hit where we thought it was going to. We knew it was coming. We just thought it was going to be further south than what it was. And that line just shifted 100 miles north.
And it came so quick.
It came really, really quick. Cold air was really in place, though, with that back last year, and that really made the difference on that.
Y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to come back now and talk about how Dennis and his weather forecast really relates to hunting and fishing. We'll be right back with more of Listen to the Eagle.
Need an app or a new website? Cross Digital has you covered. Cross Digital is a full-service multimedia company focused on you. We build custom apps and websites designed to engage your customers. We also produce corporate videos such as live webinars, YouTube explainer videos, and podcasts in our state-of-the-art studio. When you need to stand out, Cross Digital makes it happen. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
At Alabama Foundation Specialist, we know your home is your biggest investment, and it starts with a solid foundation. But sometimes changes in underlying soils can cause sidewalks, driveways, porches, and pool decks to shift and crack. AFS has a simple, inexpensive solution that lifts the slabs with expansive foam called PolyLevel. It's lightweight, adheres in minutes, won't wash out or shift. Don't replace it, raise it. For a free estimate, call AFS or go to afsrepair.com.
Coming to Trussville in the fall of 2015, Sheepdog Firearms Indoor Training Facility, located 1 minute off of Interstate 59 on the Deerfoot Parkway exit. Sheepdog will feature 24 indoor firing lanes, a 4,000 square foot gun sale showroom manned by a friendly and courteous staff. Like us on Facebook, or visit our website at sheepdog-firearms.com. Come join the pack at Sheepdog Firearms Training Center, Trussville.
I'm 1 in 1,000, making a difference.
I'm 1 in 1,000, keeping families together.
And I'm 1 in 1,000, driving for the Ronald McDonald House. Research proves that togetherness heals, and through your pre-commitment to the Ronald McDonald House specialty license plate, we can ensure that miracles keep happening together. Find out more on how you can become one of the first 1,000 people to make a difference and get your new car tag for free. Visit rmhca.org/car tag today. Want to stand out above your competition? Cross Digital can make it happen. Produce your next webinar live in our state-of-the-art studio or serve your customers with new YouTube explainer videos and podcasts. Cross Digital also delivers custom apps and websites for businesses of all sizes, as well as digital marketing and social media solutions. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
Coming to Trussville in the fall of 2015, Sheepdog Firearms Indoor Training Facility, located 1 minute off of Interstate 59 on the Deerfoot Parkway exit. Sheepdog will feature 24 indoor firing lanes, a 4,000 square foot gun sales showroom manned by a friendly and courteous staff. Like us on Facebook or visit our website at sheepdog-firearms.com. Come join the pack at Sheepdog Firearms Training Center, Trussville.
At Alabama Foundation Specialist, we know your home is your biggest investment, and it starts with a solid foundation. But sometimes changes in underlying soils can cause sidewalks, driveways, porches, and pool decks to shift and crack. AFS has a simple, inexpensive solution that lifts the slabs with expansive foam called PolyLevel. It's lightweight, adheres in minutes, won't wash out or shift. Don't replace it, raise it. For a free estimate, call AFS or go to afsrepair.com.
Welcome back. Listen to the Eagle. Bert Carruth, your host of Alabama's Hunters and Fishermen's home. For you to have a voice. The platform is set. It is for you, Alabama's Hunters and Fishermen, to have a voice statewide. We got you covered, baby. We're on all the major markets across the statewide. We're in over 500,000 homes on charter cable. The stage is set for you, Alabama's Hunters and Fishermen, to have a voice and for you to be stars of the show. But to be a part of the show, you got to call 1-844-EAGLE-99. That's 1-844-324-5399. Go to listentotheeagle.com. You can always view the show live on Watch Live. Go down and click on Watch Now. And then anytime during the course of the week, you can always go to archives. And any show, we've got a repertoire. Hey, that's fun to say. We've got a repertoire of archive shows now from just so many cool guests over the last 8 to 10 weeks. So invite you to go to listentotheeagle.com, click on the archives, and view our shows. All right, we have our celebrity guest, Dennis Washington, the legendary meteorologist. All right, so Dennis, before we went to break, you were kind of just breaking down the basics for our listeners of the weather and how you forecast.
Yeah, and obviously there's, you've got issues here with the weather where you're trying to make sure, you're trying to figure out the best time to go hunting and fishing.
Right.
I would think that's probably the biggest concern. We know, from hunting, deer patterns, when the best time of the day, if the weather's optimal, to go hunting for a deer, but the weather can obviously affect that. And from what I understand, the weather has a bigger effect on fishing than hunting. Now, your experience may tell a different story than that.
No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read you. I've got 3 sources here. I'm just going to read you some quotes.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple of questions.
Okay. All
right. So, from lifelong coastal angler Kim Norton, says he's seen it all. Norton grew up in Mississippi. He specializes in inland bass and pan fishing and is big in redfish and sea trout out on the coast. Okay, so he goes offshore. He does inland and offshore fishing. Been doing it for years and years. He says bass are just crazy to strike, and they want fast lures, nothing slow, easy like a jig, or plastic worms when a big storm is brewing.
Yes.
I
Let me. I don't want to interrupt you, but what they're hitting on there is the pressure drop. The barometric pressure is dropping as a storm is approaching.
So how does that get into the water? I mean, I'm green.
Okay.
I'm
all right. So
dumb it down.
No,
Talk it to me.
so
How in the world does that affect a bass?
Well, fish in general.
Okay.
The pressure, the amount of pressure in the atmosphere. So, you're watching TV and they're talking about lows and highs, okay?
All right, according to this guy, if Dennis Washington came on and said a big storm's brewing, he said they would rush out the door and go to the lake.
Absolutely, because what's happening is when you've got a low-pressure system. Now, low pressure is the absence of high pressure. High pressure is a dome of air. Think of it as weight in the atmosphere.
Okay. Coming down, yeah.
So the more pressure is in the atmosphere, the more stable the area is, because there's just this weight of air that's preventing storm development, and it's just really creating this not hot always, but just this stable, and the fish don't really care much for that.
Okay.
They're just, it's just kind of laziness, and they're not really. But when low pressure, the barometric pressure starts to fall and fall pretty rapidly as a storm is approaching, you've got this low pressure area starting. Now, all of a sudden, the weight of the atmosphere is lifted off the water.
Just kind of like a disco underwater. It just gets to happen.
It makes them.
Well, he even says, before a big weather front, bass are gorging and feeding like a fat man at a pizza buffet. Is that?
It's not a bad way to. Well, yeah.
And he says the same thing in saltwater. He says Norton says days before a strong storm hits, big tides push in coastal marshes, and the fish are feeding heavily. He says a higher saline content in the coastal marsh water pushes all kinds of marine fish. It just gets them going.
Ultimately, again, coming back from a weather perspective, it's that barometric pressure drop, that trend, that change in barometric pressure that is causing the fish to react and make them more active. When the barometric pressure is stable, when high pressure is in control, there's really no change, then there's nothing that's making the fish go crazy. But it's when that pressure starts to drop all the way through that drop, or even if there's a rapid rise, but generally the rapid pressure fall is when the fishing's the best.
All right, before we go to break and before I let you off, real quick, couple of things. These two quotes are coming from Boone and Crockett Club, okay? And now we're going to flip to the deer hunting side that we know our listeners are like SEC football. Everybody's on pins and needles. Countdown. Let's get to August. Get ready to start planting and plotting, and then let's bring on deer season.
Yep.
Storms often create spikes in deer activity. The period immediately before a storm and the day or two after are very good times to hunt deer.
Again, it's that pressure change. Really, and that's the thing a lot of people don't understand, that we think about rain and sunshine. What does the rain have to affect? Well, this is all outdoor life, so it's not the rain that affects them that much. But think of it this way from a human we've probably got I've got friends, you may have some too, that when a storm's coming, they start to get migraines.
Yeah.
Or they've got
joints
arthritis,
hurt.
joints start hurt.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of effect, because it's not the rain itself that's causing that. It's the pressure change. It's the pressure that's dropping as that storm's approaching that is just changing how the weight of the air is affecting our bodies.
Wow.
And that's really what.
So it's affecting the animals.
It's affecting the animals too. The pressure, the change in pressure, the weight of the air, how it's changing is affecting the animals just like it does us.
All right, here's some research for our listeners and for you from Boone and Crockett Club. This is over thousands and thousands of hunters across the nation where they got this data.
Absolutely.
93% of those giants, and he's calling giants that were probably registered Boone and Crockett, were shot on dry days. Half the days were sunny and half were overcast. 93% of big bucks on dry days.
Yeah.
See, I've always heard rain and cold makes them move. All right, so the wind was calm, 5 miles an hour or less, on 85% of the days when a big buck was killed. The wind was less. Now, I can understand that because there's such a keen scent of smell.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 of monster bucks that were shot, the temperature was 50 degrees Fahrenheit or less.
Again, going back to what you were talking about the cold air, I think that obviously makes a difference. Yeah.
Now it says that the take on the numbers regarding the 93% that were killed on dry days, he says, I bet if we actually looked really deep into this data, we'd find that the pattern that consisted on dry, high-pressure days after a cool to cold weather front came through, something that he's really looked at a lot. And the 2 to 3 days after the front blows through are really, really good hunting days. Is that something to do with pressure?
Well, it absolutely comes back to pressure. Now, you tell me this as a hunter, are you more likely to come up on a deer and surprise them and kill them if they're being lazy and kind of, or are they on the move when you're catching them?
See, it depends on how you hunt. If you're a still hunter in a tree stand or a shooting house, absolutely, you need the deer moving.
Okay.
But there are a lot of people that love walk hunting. My dad, who started this program 20 years ago, has been a lot. I say he's 101. He's actually 81, but it's been hunting since for 70 years.
Right.
Loved walking up on deer.
Okay, so so I think that may have something to do with it there because again, that high pressure situation, they are stable. Animals really aren't moving that much. Maybe they're just the element of surprise is better.
Well, and he goes on to say in this study, while calm to low wind days are definitely best for big bucks, probably because they're older and wiser and can smell, I was surprised at the high 85% of number of deer that were taken with 5 miles an hour or less. I would have thought 10 miles an hour or less. We all know that cooler, the better for big deer, as the data reaffirms.
Again, it comes back to just the way the weather affects animals, and this comes back to the notion of stable weather versus unstable weather,
which is
the change in pressure. So when you see a forecast, and the weather forecast is going to be hot and dry for several days in a row, there's nothing that's changing the pressure.
There's not going to be a whole change of activity.
No, especially like from fishing and even some with the hunting. The animals are going to be over those few days are going to be very similar, but it's when you say, hey, it's going to be dry today, but stormy tomorrow or stormy tonight.
There's a change. There's going to be some activity.
Coming. Absolutely.
And when it goes from being stormy back to pretty.
Yeah.
So any change.
There's
change. Change.
Absolute
change. So simple, stupid. If you're out there and you're like me, all you need to know is when there's change, whether it goes from good to bad weather or bad to good weather.
Yeah, but that's especially when you need the good to bad. That's the best.
That's when you need to get to getting.
Yeah, that's it.
Dennis Washington, thank you so much.
Anytime.
Always
sir.
Educational.
Love it.
Love you being a part of the show.
Glad to be a part of it.
All right, brother.
Nice job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Y'all don't go anywhere. We've got 2 wonderful guests for our last segment coming up on the show that you're really going to enjoy. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Listen to the Eagle.
Call Listen to the Eagle now. Toll free. 844-EAGLE-99. That's 844-324-5399. This is Listen to the Eagle, Alabama.
Crack, brick, windows that stick, uneven floors and squeaky doors. The signs are there everywhere. Your home is crying out for repair. Call AFS and we'll be there. Waterproofing specialists too. Let AFS take care of you. AFS, we support everything you love.
Call AFS at 877-340-8479 or go to afsrepair.com.
Whether you have a convenience store, restaurant, truck stop, quick lube, or you're remodeling an existing location, Old Equipment Company can handle the project quickly and efficiently. Old Equipment Company not only specializes in the design and construction of convenience stores, they also have a full line of inventory for most of your petroleum needs. Old Equipment Company and their parts department want the opportunity to earn your business. Visit them online at oecparts.net. That's oecparts.net. Old Equipment Company.
Reed's Metals is the manufacturer for metal roofing, pole barns, pre-engineered steel buildings, and the new galvanized Econo buildings. See them all online at reedsmetals.com. Reed's Metals uses American steel products, welded by certified welders, customizing each building to meet your needs, manufacturing and delivering your project within 21 days of your order. They use truck-mounted lifts to unload the delivery off the truck, saving you time and money. Learn more about products and services online at reedsmetals.com.
Hey, Alabama hunters, are you like me and find yourself wanting to do work around your camp, but you just don't know when, how, or where to rent the equipment to do it? I've got the answer for you. Rental Works. Rental Works has excavators, generators, concrete saws, loaders, dozers, and more. Maybe you need a specialty renter like a high-capacity forklift or even a dump truck. Rental Works has you covered. Call Rental Works today, 1-877-282-LIFT. That's 1-877-282-LIFT, Rental Works.
Coming to Trustful in the fall of 2015, Sheepdog Firearms Indoor Training Facility, located 1 minute off of Interstate I-59 and Deerfoot Parkway. Sheepdog will feature 24 indoor firing lanes, a 4,000 square foot gun sale showroom manned by a friendly and courteous staff, and at Sheepdog Firearms you can keep your expanded brass. Like us on Facebook or visit our website at sheepdog-firearms.com. Come join the pack at Sheepdog Firearms Training Center, Trustful.
Need an app or a new website? Cross Digital has you covered. Cross Digital is a full-service multimedia company focused on you. We build custom apps and websites designed to engage your customers. We also produce corporate videos such as live webinars, YouTube explainer videos, and podcasts in our state-of-the-art studio. When you need to stand out, Cross Digital makes it happen. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
At Alabama Foundation Specialist, we know your home is your biggest investment, and it starts with a solid foundation. But sometimes changes in underlying soils can cause sidewalks, driveways, porches, and pool decks to shift and crack. AFS has a simple, inexpensive solution that lifts the slabs with expansive foam called PolyLevel. It's lightweight, adheres in minutes, won't wash out or shift. Don't replace it, raise it. For a free estimate, call AFS or go to afsrepair.com.
Want to stand out above your competition? Cross Digital can make it happen. Produce your next webinar live in our state-of-the-art studio or serve your customers with new YouTube explainer videos and podcasts. Cross Digital also delivers custom apps and websites for businesses of all sizes, as well as digital marketing and social media solutions. Visit crossdig.com to learn how we can help you reach your business goals. That's crossdig.com.
Oh, yes. Welcome back. Listen to the Eagle. Alabama's hunters and fishermen home across this great state of Alabama to finally have a voice. It is this is your show. Alabama's hunters and fishermen, you have a voice statewide. But to be a part of the show and share your voice, you've got to call the show 1-844-EAGLE-99. That's 1-844-324-5399. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Eagle Alabama, and always go to listentotheeagle.com. Find out where we've been, where we're going. We got all the shows archived there at listentotheeagle.com. You can find out all the major markets, all our affiliates and our radio stations. We've got you covered statewide in all the major markets. And you can find out all the channel finders as we're in over 500,000 homes on charter cable across this great state of Alabama. So the stage is set for you, Alabama's hunters and fishermen. Baby, it's here. Write it down with a Sharpie. 1-844-EAGLE-99 will get you in here. We love having guests. We've got our regular guest, Big Red's Cooking Corner, here in just a minute. But I want to bring on a dear friend of mine that has also been a part of Listen to the Eagle Mississippi for us years ago, Dr. Frank Sullivan. Welcome in, Dr. Sullivan, to Listen to the Eagle, Alabama.
Hey, Bert. How you doing, man?
Frank, I'm doing well. Frank, I know I want to promote a little bit. I'm so proud of you. I know your dental practice there in St. Francisville, Louisiana is really good. I know you fly all across the nation and giving clinics with your dental practice, but let's be honest. Your real passion and heart is in hunting and fishing. As I've always teased you, I know you've had a deer factory down there in St. Francisville, Louisiana. But what I really want to talk to you about and to share with our listeners here across the great state of Alabama and throughout Mississippi is the little gym that you have down there in Venice, Louisiana, your camp and that whole area and all those captains and all the boats. And let's talk about a little fishing, Frank.
Well, Bert, I love to fish, and honestly, I don't like saying this on the air, but there's no better place in the world to fish than Venice, Louisiana.
Well, I'll be honest. over the last 5 years, I've grown to believe exactly what you just said, and I know you don't want everybody coming down there, but golly, I just want to invite these fishermen of Alabama, if they've never been, to come down there and not only help the economy down there, but Frank, is it not just some of the most awesome fishing in the world?
Well, right now is really a good time of the year. The inshore is really turning on. The trout, or basically they can be found in just about in all of their areas that they like to live. They're the platform, the oil platforms right now. They're still on the beaches.
Yeah.
They're in the bays, and it's just a lot of shrimp, a lot of pogies, a lot of bait right now running around. So if you can find clean water, you can catch trout. Redfish, I think we're probably the redfish capital of the world, and they're hot too. Offshore's good. It's just tough to get out there with all the weather we've been having coming off out of Texas, and a lot of thunderstorms. But the tuna fishing's been a little slow, I got to say. Right now, tuna are feeding on real small baits, and it's hard to match that hatch sometimes. So we've been struggling to catch our tuna, but a lot of mahi-mahi on the rip. Some big mahi-mahi have been caught already this year. There's been some marlin already caught this year.
Oh, wow.
And Venice is the kind of place that you can go out and you can catch bass, and you could probably in the same day run out and catch marlin. And there's not too many places like that in the world.
No.
So with the combination of the Mississippi River being right there, the mouth of the Mississippi River, and all those nutrients coming from all the way from the Great Lakes, and the combination of the oil industry, we've got a great fishery here. It's just about maintaining it, conserving it, and making sure it's there for our kids and our grandkids.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Frank. I've been down there, like I said, the last 5 years and done some unbelievable red fishing, and just really have kind of grown to love that fishing. Going back there on that, what do you call it, the backwater, I guess, and the marshes, and really having some fun back there.
It is, man. It's a great place. We're so lucky to live in the South, all of us who live on the Gulf Coast. I mean, we probably take it for granted, but we have one of the best fisheries, in Alabama included,
yeah,
anywhere. And, we need to take care of it. And we're fortunate enough to get to fish it, and I just want to make sure that my grandkids get to fish it. So, if you're out there and you're listening and you want to go fishing, Venice is a great place to fish. There's plenty of guides down there, plenty of places to stay these days, and you need to come on down. You can stop in New Orleans on the way.
Yeah, there's no doubt that you can just Google Venice fishing, and I'm sure several different outfits would come up with captains, and it really is. It's awesome. Well, Frank, there's no doubt, too, down in your neck of the woods that the eating is always good. And I've got a little surprise for you. Every week here on Listen to the Eagle, we have something that we close the show with, and it's called Big Red's Cooking Corner. Big Red, you know Dr. Sullivan?
I know Dr. Sullivan well, real well. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing good. Now, don't you be saying anything.
Hey, that goes with you too now.
Hey, you too. Let's don't reminisce. That's not the kind of wildlife we're talking about on this show.
Oh.
And I sure don't need y'all talking any stories on the host. So, Big Red, Frank, I'd love for you to stay on. I'd love for you to listen to kind of what Big Red does for us. But in case we run on the hard break to end the show, I want to thank you so much for calling in and sharing about Venice and the fishing down there, Dr. Sullivan.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I would not get off this phone. I want to hear what Big Red. I have my Sharpie ready to go. I'm ready to write this recipe down. Let's hear what you got, Big Red.
All right, Big Red, you never let us down. Everybody's waiting. What you got this week?
Well, we're going to do it's like Frank said, it's fishing time, it's fishing weather. Everybody's cooking fish, everybody's frying fish. So what we're going to look at, we went straight into the garden yesterday and pulled jalapenos and probably about 8 other different types of peppers out of our garden, from sweet bell peppers, sweet reds, sweet yellows, sweet greens, banana peppers, just any kind of peppers that you have in your garden.
Okay.
And of course, we slid on out there with about eight or 10 green tomatoes. And we went right into a Louisiana fish fry mix that has about 5 tablespoons of Taggart seasoning in it.
Oh, Taggart's, baby. Old Taggart's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we fried those for about, you can cut them, you want to cut them and you want to cut the veins and the seeds out. And I leave mine in rings, like little bitty onion rings, real thin and probably about a quarter of an inch and half inch wide, and roll them in that flour. And all you're doing is frying them for a short period of time.
Is it almost like a fried squash ring, Burks?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And, we do a lot of yellow sweet onions. We do that way. We don't put a batter on the onions. Onions just go straight into the grease. And these are just some different sides that you can make up. You can make up a little hollandaise sauce, a little crawfish salad, or something like that you want to dip into. And it's real easy to do. Just make sure you clean out the veins and the seeds out of the peppers, or they'll be a little overpowering to you.
All right, so now we're flipping them in some flour in that little seasoning, but then what are we putting it in a black iron skillet?
Whatever you're frying your fish in at the time.
Okay.
And also what will happen, that will help you clean your grease also, as if you'll alternate that every now and then in between cookings, it will help you keep your grease real clean.
Dr. Sullivan, each week, we do this right about dinner time, and Bert's Big Red makes us so hungry. What you think he stepped up to the plate tonight?
I think he did. I'm writing it down, and only thing I don't have a garden, but my neighbor does, so I'm about to ease over there.
Frank, you gonna ask permission before you go in his garden?
Well, I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. I'm not gonna ask for permission.
Hey, Frank. In Rodney we got those freshwater redfish we've caught a lot of before.
Hey, you too.
Freshwater redfish.
You talking about those buffalo ribs?
Yes, sir. That's next week's recipe is fried buffalo ribs.
Let's do it.
And let me tell you what, everybody needs to have their Sharpie out for that.
Hey, I hear you. Hey, I love both y'all. Thank y'all for being a part of Listen to the Eagle. We'll see all of you same time, same place next week. Bert, Carruth, and remember, listen to the Eagle.